The disgusting sexual habits narcissists display to their partners behind closed doors. Have you ever wondered what narcissists are really like when no one is around to see them? In public, they may appear polished, polite, and even admirable, but psychologists explain that their darkest side always hides behind closed doors. When no one is watching, narcissists reveal habits that are manipulative, degrading, and sometimes shockingly disrespectful. These private behaviors are not accidents or quirks. They are deliberate expressions of contempt and control that expose their true nature. The first private habit emerges in spaces that should feel safe and intimate, like the bedroom or the bathroom. Instead of respecting privacy, narcissists often turn these areas into arenas for humiliation. They may barge in uninvited, make rude comments, or demand access when boundaries should be honored. Psychologists emphasize that these violations reveal their sense of entitlement, showing how little they value their partner's dignity when no audience is present. In private, narcissists often display degrading or unhygienic behaviors that they would never reveal in public. They may leave messes for others to clean, ridicule their partner during vulnerable moments, or act with open disregard for comfort. Psychologists confirm that these behaviors are not signs of laziness. They are power plays. Each careless act sends the message that their partner exists to serve them, and that respect is not a two-way street behind closed doors. Another disgusting habit is their obsession with controlling small personal details. They might criticize how you brush your teeth, how long you shower, or even how you organize your belongings. On the surface, it seems petty, but psychologists explain that these attacks are carefully chosen to create shame. By nitpicking trivial matters, narcissists remind their partner that nothing they do is ever good enough, keeping them trapped in constant self-doubt and tension. Behind closed doors, narcissists often indulge in hypocrisy. They demand perfection from others, yet privately neglect responsibility for themselves. Some ignore basic hygiene, while others engage in bizarre rituals that inconvenience their partner. Psychologists highlight this as classic double standards. They project an image of superiority, but when no one is watching, their true habits reveal immaturity, irresponsibility, and an unsettling comfort with letting others handle the fallout of their choices. Gaslighting does not stop in these private spaces. In fact, it intensifies. If you call out their invasive or humiliating behavior, they quickly dismiss it as harmless, or accuse you of being too sensitive. Psychologists confirm this tactic is intentional. By denying your right to privacy or minimizing your discomfort, the narcissist rewrites reality. This manipulation makes you doubt yourself, keeping you trapped in a cycle where your natural need for respect feels unreasonable. Their cruelty also appears in arguments that take place behind closed doors. While in public, they keep their composure. At home, they unleash cutting words, raised voices, and even outright verbal assaults. Psychologists describe this as the split identity of narcissists, the charming public performer versus the private tyrant. It's in these intimate, unseen moments where their most disgusting behaviors thrive, leaving their partner isolated and unsupported by the outside world. Another disturbing habit is mocking vulnerability. If you're sick, tired, or feeling low, instead of offering comfort, they ridicule or dismiss you. Psychologists note this exploitation of weakness is intentional, designed to reinforce power. For the narcissist, private moments of vulnerability are opportunities to assert dominance. This teaches their partner a damaging lesson. Even in the most fragile moments, they cannot expect safety, compassion, or kindness behind closed doors. Privacy is also frequently violated. They may enter your personal spaces, like the bathroom or bedroom, without asking, insisting it is their right as a partner. Psychologists explain that this entitlement strips away autonomy and comfort. These violations are not about closeness or intimacy. They are about control. Each intrusion sends the message that your boundaries don't exist, and the narcissist owns not just the space, but your sense of safety within it. Perhaps the most unsettling private habit is the way narcissists take secret pleasure in your discomfort. They enjoy watching their partner squirm under humiliation, whether through cruel jokes, unwanted criticism, or outright ridicule. Psychologists emphasize that this isn't about intimacy. It's about dominance. The mask slips completely in private, revealing someone who feeds on another's embarrassment. For the victim, These moments leave scars that cut deeper because they happen where love should live. When narcissists deny your right to privacy, they usually twist the narrative. They'll say, "Couples shouldn't keep secrets," or "Why do you need space from me?" Psychologists stress that these statements aren't about intimacy, but about control. By disguising invasions as closeness, they guilt their partner into submission. This is a disgusting habit because it erodes the foundation of trust and teaches the victim that even basic boundaries will not be respected. Another private habit is their tendency to ridicule behind closed doors. What they praise in public. For example, they may compliment your cooking at a dinner party, but privately, they mock or insult it. Psychologists explain this contradiction is intentional. They keep you off balance, never sure what to expect. The humiliation cuts deeper because no one else sees it, making you feel like you're living with two different versions of the same person. Narcissists also exaggerate their disgust at normal human behaviors. Something as ordinary as leaving a towel on the floor becomes ammunition for cruel lectures. Psychologists confirm this stems from their need to feel superior in every moment. By magnifying small issues into massive failures, they position themselves as the responsible one, while reducing their partner to incompetence. This disgusting pattern chips away at self-esteem over time. Mockery is another tool they use relentlessly in private. They might imitate your voice, laugh at your insecurities, or replay your mistakes with sarcasm. Psychologists highlight this as emotional bullying. What looks like jokes is really degradation. Because it happens behind closed doors, victims often endure it silently, doubting whether it's serious enough to confront. But over time, this private cruelty corrodes confidence like poison in the mind. Private space also becomes the stage for jealousy games. Narcissists may accuse you of looking at others, or they may flirt with someone and then bring it up to make you insecure. Psychologists call this triangulation, pitting you against imaginary rivals. In the privacy of your home, it's more toxic, because there are no witnesses. These disgusting games wear down your trust, planting seeds of doubt that bloom into insecurity and fear. Another disgusting habit is their manipulation of routines. They might interrupt your shower to demand attention, or disrupt your sleep with arguments. Psychologists emphasize that this is about control, not connection. By disturbing your private rituals, they assert dominance over even your most personal moments. Over time, this constant interference leaves victims exhausted, stripped of any sense of safety or consistency in their own home. They also hoard control over shared spaces. For example, they may dominate the bathroom, leaving it a mess while criticizing you for the smallest slip. Psychologists call this double standard a projection of their own carelessness. This private imbalance shows their contempt for equality. By controlling even the smallest spaces, they reinforce the disgusting belief that the household revolves around them, and them alone. In arguments behind closed doors, narcissists reveal their ugliest side. They shout, insult, or degrade their partner in ways they'd never risk in front of others. Psychologists explain that this safe space cruelty is strategic. They rely on the privacy of the home to unleash abuse without accountability. It's a disgusting contradiction. The place meant to be most nurturing becomes the place most filled with pain. Another disgusting habit is the way they twist vulnerability into entertainment. If you cry, they may roll their eyes or mimic your tears. If you confide in them, they later weaponize your secrets. Psychologists highlight this as betrayal of trust. Private disclosures become ammunition in future conflicts. Victims quickly learn that nothing is safe, and even their deepest truths can be mocked or thrown back in moments of cruelty. They also show passive aggression in private. Instead of direct confrontation, they forget to replace things, ignore chores, or deliberately inconvenience you. Psychologists note, this covert hostility is as damaging as outright rage. It forces the victim to live in a constant state of frustration. These silent, disgusting habits aren't accidents. They're calculated ways of expressing contempt while avoiding direct accountability. Narcissists often use the bathroom as a space of control. They may spend excessive time there, ignoring responsibilities, or they may invade your privacy when you need it. Psychologists say this isn't about routine, it's about power. They enjoy watching you feel uncomfortable or powerless in ordinary situations, These private invasions reveal their need to dominate every corner of life, even the most basic. Another strange private habit is performing rituals of superiority. Some narcissists insist their way of doing things, folding towels, brushing teeth, organizing shelves, is the only correct way. Psychologists affirm this is more than pickiness. It's an assertion of dominance. By ridiculing your methods, they elevate themselves. The bathroom or bedroom becomes their kingdom, where they demand submission to trivial rules. Mocking your body is another cruel habit. They might make comments about your appearance, hygiene, or habits in private, even if they compliment you publicly. Psychologists confirm this duality is intentional. By degrading you behind closed doors, they chip away at your self-image. These comments linger, shaping how you see yourself, long after the narcissist has moved on to the next insult. They also manipulate time in private. Arguments often begin late at night, keeping you awake and exhausted. Psychologists describe this as sleep deprivation tactics. It's a disgusting habit because it uses fatigue to weaken resistance. In the morning, they act as if nothing happened, leaving you drained while they appear unaffected. This cycle silently breaks down resilience over time. Another private behavior is forcing their moods onto others. If they're angry, they slam doors, stomp, or sulk until everyone feels their negativity. Psychologists highlight that this atmosphere of tension is deliberate. Instead of processing feelings, they spread them behind closed doors. Their emotions dominate the household, ensuring no one feels peace until they decide to release their grip. Narcissists also use private spaces for smear rehearsals. They practice cruel narratives about you, later shared with others to damage your reputation. Psychologists explain that this rehearsal builds confidence for their lies. In private, they craft stories that make them look like victims, and you like the aggressor. This disgusting manipulation begins in silence, but spreads into public perceptions. One of the most disturbing habits is watching your discomfort with satisfaction. Whether it's embarrassment, insecurity, or frustration, they seem to enjoy your pain. Psychologists call this sadistic pleasure. It's disgusting because it flips the natural human instinct for empathy. Instead of easing your suffering, they feed off it, finding validation in moments that should inspire compassion. They also exploit cleanliness as a weapon. Some narcissists deliberately create messes, knowing their partner will feel obligated to clean. Others criticize relentlessly about hygiene, making their partner feel dirty or inadequate. Psychologists affirm these habits are not about tidiness. They're about power dynamics. Behind closed doors, even soap and towels become tools of humiliation. Another common private habit is rewriting events immediately after they happen. They may say, "I never said that," even seconds after an argument. Psychologists describe this as in-the-moment gaslighting. It's a disgusting tactic because it denies lived reality in real time. In private, without witnesses, victims are left wondering if they're losing their grip on truth itself. Their control also extends to food and eating habits. Some criticize your meals, dictate what's acceptable, or make gross comments about your choices. Psychologists explain that this is another boundary violation disguised as care. In private, meals become moments of shame instead of nourishment. It's disgusting because it transforms basic human needs into another battlefield of control. Private arguments often include exaggerated sighs, eye rolls, and mocking laughter. These gestures may seem small, but psychologists say they are deliberate non-verbal attacks. They communicate disdain without words, making the victim feel foolish. Over time, these disgusting private habits degrade self-worth. They're especially painful because they're subtle, leaving the partner questioning if they're overreacting instead of recognizing abuse. Narcissists also use private spaces to test boundaries with silence. They may sit quietly, glaring or pouting, until their partner feels compelled to break the tension. Psychologists explain this as coercive control. It forces the victim into submission without a single word spoken. This disgusting tactic transforms the home into a cage of invisible rules, where peace depends on appeasing the narcissist. Behind closed doors, they may mock your passions or hobbies. Something as harmless as reading a book, journaling, or singing becomes material for ridicule. Psychologists emphasize this is designed to isolate you from joy. Their private mockery turns creativity into shame, ensuring you feel guilty for having interests they don't approve of. It's disgusting because it kills individuality, one small insult at a time. They also reveal selfish habits and routines. Some monopolize shared bathrooms, leaving no time for others. Others use bedrooms as their personal throne, scattering belongings and criticizing anyone who questions it. Psychologists highlight that these behaviors reflect entitlement. It's not about the mess. It's about dominance. Private spaces become symbols of control, where respect for others is erased entirely. When criticized privately, narcissists rarely reflect. Instead, they retaliate with cruel exaggerations. If you ask them to clean up, they might reply, "You're impossible to live with," or "You're always nagging." Psychologists note this exaggeration shifts blame and deflects responsibility. This disgusting response ensures every valid request feels unreasonable, conditioning the victim to stay silent rather than face unfair backlash. Narcissists also exaggerate their suffering behind closed doors. They may act exhausted, overwhelmed, or mistreated, even when they've done little. Psychologists describe this as martyrdom. By playing the victim, they guilt their partner into service. It's disgusting because it flips reality. The abuser becomes the suffering hero, while the real victim ends up apologizing or overcompensating. Another private tactic is controlling appearance. They may criticize clothing choices, grooming, or body shape in humiliating ways. Psychologists stress that these insults are about power, not truth. By attacking physical appearance, narcissists chip away at identity. Behind closed doors, what should be compliments or support becomes degradation, leaving scars that last longer than words. They also manipulate privacy itself. For example, reading messages, checking belongings, or spying on online activity, then denying it when confronted. Psychologists say this surveillance is about ownership, not care. It's a disgusting violation of trust that leaves victims feeling exposed and unsafe in their own homes, where privacy should be a given. In private, narcissists may also rehearse their public mask. They practice charm, flattering lines, or fake kindness in the mirror. Psychologists note this as impression management. It's disgusting because the person their partner suffers with in private is nothing like the role they perform in public. This rehearsed hypocrisy deepens the victim's isolation. No one else ever sees the demon behind the mask. They often punish with inconsistency. One night, they may be warm and generous. The next, they're cold and withholding. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement. It's one of the most disgusting private habits because it creates addiction to approval. The partner craves the good moments so much that they endure the bad, hoping kindness will return again. Another disgusting pattern is their tendency to mock partners during intimate conversations. When you share fears or dreams, they roll their eyes or make sarcastic jokes. Psychologists stress this is a betrayal of trust. These private insults cut deeper because they attack vulnerability. What should be a moment of closeness becomes a memory of humiliation and regret. Narcissists also enforce double standards in private. They demand complete access to your life while keeping secrets of their own. They may insist on privacy for themselves, but punish you for requesting it. Psychologists highlight this hypocrisy as entitlement. It's disgusting because it proves the relationship isn't built on equality, but on domination. Some narcissists reveal their demons in private through reckless habits, overeating, overdrinking, or neglecting hygiene, while criticizing their partner for much less. Psychologists explain this contradiction as projection. They despise their own flaws, so they dump them on others. Behind closed doors, their disgusting behaviors contrast sharply with the image of perfection they show to outsiders. They also weaponize chores. Some deliberately forget tasks, forcing their partner to shoulder the burden, while claiming innocence. Psychologists say this covert laziness is strategic. By making others pick up the slack, they establish silent control. The partner ends up drained, while the narcissist feels smug. It's disgusting because it weaponizes irresponsibility into domination. Narcissists often hide cruel smirks or laughter when their partner struggles. If you drop something, spill water, or make a mistake, they may chuckle instead of helping. Psychologists note this schadenfreude, finding joy in others' pain, reveals their lack of empathy. Behind closed doors, these small, disgusting reactions pile up, turning the home into a place of humiliation. They also reveal cruelty in how they treat pets or children when unwatched. While public affection seems genuine, private moments may show neglect or impatience. Psychologists confirm this duality is common. The mask of kindness hides a darker reality. It's disgusting because the most vulnerable beings who deserve care instead become targets for hidden resentment. In private, narcissists frequently rehearse or rewrite arguments. They repeat lines, imagine comebacks, and plot new ways to win future disputes. Psychologists highlight this obsession as fragile ego defense. It's disgusting because it shows they never see arguments as opportunities for growth or understanding, only as battles to dominate, even long after they ended. They may also sulk for hours, spreading a heavy atmosphere until everyone feels miserable. Psychologists describe this as emotional blackmail. It's disgusting because silence becomes punishment. Instead of resolving conflict, they poison the household with tension, forcing their partner to bend first, just to restore peace, reinforcing the toxic cycle of control. Even their smallest private habits can be cruel. They may ignore greetings, refuse eye contact, or dismiss kindness with coldness. Psychologists confirm these micro-rejections accumulate into deep wounds. It's disgusting because it chips away at self-esteem subtly but consistently. The victim feels invisible in their own home, even while living beside someone who pretends to care publicly. So what do narcissists reveal behind closed doors? Disgusting private habits like ridicule, invasion of privacy, gaslighting, neglect, and cruelty. Psychologists stress these patterns prove the mask they wear outside is a lie. The real narcissist emerges in private, where power replaces love. Understanding this truth protects you, because once you see the hidden demon, you can choose freedom. If this video helped you, like, share, and subscribe for more insights.